he's doing what horses do right now. He's running to what he knows is safe.
Yeah.
And that is this particular stable, which is unfortunately on fire.
It's just a very sad day, not only for Lakers, but for the world of the NBA.
Oh,
Some of them have handlers, some of them don't.
Yeah,
so we got a lot of cars over here right now, too, which could be a very tough situation.
Well, just people out there have said they can barely see, and those horses who are stuck between thick smoke and flames, you could tell they're disoriented. They weren't sure which direction to go. Some of them
it looks like they're trying to get out.
Hey, buddies. Hey, buddies.
Those are, but there were some. One was running toward the flames. I think it's really hard to see, and they're scared. And
hey, Joy, have you gotten a chance to speak with the? I'm sure the owner is probably busy trying to get them out there, get them out of danger there. But do you know how many horses we're talking about, or an estimate number? Have you been able to speak with anyone on that road?
I see 2 that are still. I see 4 that don't have handlers. I see 1 running wild over here.
Yeah, this is really tough to watch.
It looks like they're going to try and corral him, and then a couple that have handles on him. The problem is that one doesn't have a rope around him. He doesn't have any reins. And unfortunately, he's doing what horses do right now. He's running to what he knows is safe.
Yeah.
And that is this particular stable, which is unfortunately on fire. And so we have this one. We also have a young colt here. So I'm dealing with a minimum of 6 horses that don't have people with them. And Joy, I wish I knew the name of this farm for folks who live around here. What's the name of this farm? I have no idea. These aren't my horses. They're not your horses.
What street are we on? What section?
Okay, well, what do people need? As you can see, we got a lot of media and a lot of horses, and we got another one running towards us again.
Yeah.
Hey, hey.
Yeah, a very tense, stressful
situation. All right, we got
situation.
this one on a rope.
Yes, they're actively trying to help. And if maybe our producers can tell us exactly where Joy is. It is such an intense scene out there. So we're on Tierra Rajada Road. Of course, most people have evacuated.
And you
near the Butler Ranch.
And it looks like we have several people who have stopped now trying to help. But I mean, you know how confusing this wind and this smoke is for humans. It's absolutely terrifying for horses.
But Joy, it appears that they're making some progress of getting some of those horses out of danger. I know you counted a couple that were that didn't have handlers. Can you give us that point of view, or have all the horses, to your vantage point, been able to get out of the way of those flames?
They are not out of the way of the flames. They are further into them. So they are further into that smoky area right now. Horses, by nature, go to what is comfortable for them in an emergency. And regardless of the fact that there are flames or smoke around them, they want to go back to their barn where they feel safe and they feel cozy. And unfortunately, in a situation like that, that can be, well, it can be catastrophic to horses, not only because of the flames, but because of the smoke and how dangerous it is.
Where Kobe Bryant has been a resident for many, many years. We're going to see if we can join her now live on the air. Joy, are you able to hear us okay?
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, this is just devastating. I mean, his neighbors are stopping. They're saying, we can't believe this happened. We have had a few fans who have shown up here already, and I want to show you over to the left-hand side. A couple came and just placed a dozen roses right here in front of the subdivision where Kobe Bryant lives. Obviously, they're not letting anyone in. Right now, we're just seeing, we've seen 3 Newport police cars that have gone through here. We don't know if they're coming in because of this or if they're here for another reason. But really, this is just devastating for so many people. I just talked to a man who was standing across the street who lives in the neighborhood. He said, I just had to come here. I woke up, I heard the news. I had to come and just be here to almost pay respects. He was wearing Kobe's old high school jersey, of all things. And then another man was here wearing the number 8. I mean, Kobe Bryant is just as synonymous with the Lakers as anybody else is, and really in NBA history. And, you know, I spent several years working for ESPN and covering Kobe and interviewing him numerous times in the locker room or there at the facility. And he is just, I mean, he's a force. right? He is a basketball force and a human being, too. So we have to remember that he's not only just Kobe Bryant, the basketball player. He is Kobe Bryant, the husband. He is Kobe Bryant, the father. He is Kobe Bryant, the friend. So there are a lot of people who are mourning his loss, those who worked with him. In fact, I was messaging a few moments ago with his former head coach, Mike Brown. He just says he's in disbelief, that it's just a very sad day, not only for Lakers, but for the world of the NBA and fans and everybody who loved this man.
And so many of us did. He was legendary. He was one of the greatest players of all time. He was one of the most well-known athletes of all time, and somebody who has transformed Los Angeles sports, to say the least. Joy, thank you so much for that live report.
There's a special election tomorrow. Voters in the city of LA will decide whether or not to support a new property tax to help boost school coffers.
It is indeed a hot topic, and I recently got a chance to sit down with Superintendent Austin Beutner. We talked about the measure and his first year on the job.
It's been a chaotic year for the Los Angeles Unified School District. At the center of it all, Superintendent Austin Beutner. As the school year wraps up, we met at historic Hollywood High School to talk about his challenging first year.
Public education's not easy.
In January, the district's 30,000 teachers went out on strike, calling for better pay, smaller class sizes, and more support staff. 80% of students stayed home.
Were you surprised to see how much support the teachers got?
Not surprised, really. I believe in those same set of things.
With the teacher strike settled, he faces another hurdle: how to pay for all the improvements the teachers fought for. Tomorrow, voters will vote on Measure EE. It triggers a 16-cent per square foot parcel tax on property within the district. On a 1,700 square foot home, that would mean an additional $272 per year in property taxes.
Why are you supporting it?
For about 75 cents a day, we can start down the path to reduce class size, to add more counselors, nurses, librarians.
So what do you say to critics who say, okay, you guys have enough money, but you're just not using it wisely?
95% of our money goes to schools. We're reducing the administrative side. We're reducing healthcare costs. All those things are being done. It's just a referendum on whether we believe in public education.
How will Measure EE affect charter schools?
It'll affect all schools, traditional public school, charter public school.
What type of impact will it have on us seniors?
So seniors are exempted.
Now, is that the voting block that you're focused on, or with the seniors because they do show up and vote, or?
Well, we want everybody to turn out.
For the measure to pass, 2/3 of voters will have to approve it.
Now, the UTLA is urging teachers and parents to vote yes on EE, but the LA Chamber of Commerce and California Taxpayers Association are urging a no vote. Critics of EE say the money will flow into the district's general fund with no guarantee it will be spent in the classroom, and that's been a lot of debate there. A lot of people are not happy about it. You have some people who are for the issue, of course, and some who are on the other side.
What are you telling me? This is crazy. This is not something you find out when you're 63 years old.
Last year, Michelle Vogel's life took a drastic turn when her daughter received a DNA kit for Christmas revealing she's Italian.
That was odd because there's no Italian anywhere to be found. This is my mother, Sheila, and my father, Jack.
Michelle thought she was part Russian-Austrian from her mother's side, Syrian from her father's side. So when she submitted her DNA for analysis, she was shocked to learn she's in fact Italian.
It was like somebody dropped a house on my head.
If that wasn't enough, her genetics matched with a family on the East Coast looking for their deceased Uncle Nino's secret daughter.
Well, they were asking my daughter, was your mother born in New York? Was she born in the 50s?
They sent Michelle several photos. The ones of Nino, her pregnant mother, and her older brother validated everything.
It says for Dad on Father's Day.
There were also greeting cards.
Have a nice day, dear. Love always, Sheila.
The relationship remains a mystery because Nino and her parents passed away years ago.
And I think that's what bothers me the most, is not knowing.
And that's why she sought out comfort on DNA MPE Friends, a private, invitation-only support group on Facebook for people like herself who are not parent expected.
How is that possible? I'm a half sibling. I've dug back into my father's family to the 1400s. And now you're telling me he's not my biological father.
Barbara Thomas and Debbie Apple can relate to Michelle's shock and sorrow. They too grieve the fathers they never got to meet.
I'll never know his voice. I'll never see him. I'll never give him a hug.
The online support is always there, but these members also meet in person to listen and help each other heal.
If I can help somebody else that has gone through what I've gone through, if just maybe one person will realize you're not alone. It started off with about 200 people when I joined in October, and now there's 4,600.
You figure over the Black Friday weekend, they sold DNA kits. And when these people get their results, this group is going to skyrocket.
There's a sacred trust there and a feeling of you're not alone. You're not alone in this.
The DNA MPE group is always there to lend a sympathetic ear and remind each other to never feel ashamed.
We are not dirty secrets. There's nothing dirty about us.
And that was our Crystal Cruz reporting there. While shocking news turned their lives upside down, Debbie, Michelle, and Barbara are embracing the connection with new relatives. 23andMe and Ancestry.com warn, though, the information they provide can be surprising. They do provide customer care, but it's not therapy. It's also important to note, when you do take a DNA test, you can opt out from matching with genetic relatives. But then again, you cannot control your sibling or child, for example, from taking their own test and uncovering a secret.